My name is Brian Smith, and my film is To All the Foods I Can't Eat.
I'm Trish Sly. My film was For Never.
My name is Sydney Ong. My film is Strokes from Nature.
Hi, my name is Vivi Munoz, and my film was Brujeria.
Hi, my name is Anvita Gurung, and my movie was American Born Confused They See.
Hi, my name is Ryan Nguyen, and my film was For Here to Go.
My name is Drake Presto, and my film was Dependent.
My name's Katie Jose, and my film is Greater Than Homeless.
My name is Madeline Atwater. My film is Follow Your Heart.
My name is Clarissa Eleazar, and my film was La Única Opción.
All right, so we're gonna open up some questions from the audience. I just wanted to jumpstart us. And so one of our common themes for the class this year was this idea of representation. So we spent a lot of time observing films, observing television, and talking about what we don't see. And so can you share, I don't know how long we have, Frank. Can we go all the way through, you think? Can you share with us, like, why do you think it was important to share that story, or even like the challenges of finding what story you wanted to tell?
Yeah, I think especially in today's political climate, for my film, immigrants tend to be stereotyped as these very negative things, like criminals or just really awful things. And with my film, I wanted to show like accurate representation, like of my dad. Sorry. Because he's helped me and my family so much. And I don't think the representations that exist right now show him properly. So, sorry.
For my film, I found it important that I should share a message that people feel that they can follow their heart and actually pursue a dream that they want to pursue. And to be honest, if all of us weren't here brave enough to follow our heart, then we probably wouldn't all be here tonight. So I just thought it should be important that people should know that, and that other people should see our perspective on following our dream.
I feel like there's always a negative connotation when dealing with homeless. When people talk to homeless or they see someone who's homeless, they try to go away from them, and they're always scared of them. But me, I've volunteered in a bunch of homeless outreach centers, and I've gotten to know them personally, and they're honestly all wonderful people, and I wanted to portray that in my film.
With my film, I really wanted to focus on what wasn't said. All the interviewees that I interviewed, I did the interview, or they wanted to do their interview without their dads around, honestly, somewhere else, without them, because what they had to say and what they never got to say, they didn't have the chance to. So I just really wanted to expose and bring light to a situation.
I decided to do my film because, my dad passed away 2 years ago, and it was really tragic for my whole family and I. But I like to say that it actually brought us closer together, and we kind of have the restaurant as a way of preserving our culture, and aside from our culture, preserving his memory. And so I decided to shine light on that.
The reason I did my film was I kind of touched upon it in the beginning. Growing up and watching Disney Channel, or just watching TV or film in general, I just saw all of these stereotypes that weren't accurate of my community. And obviously being a part of this community, it's something very dear to my heart. So I wanted to give an outlet, or do my own part in changing this representation one step at a time.
So the reason why I chose to focus on the Latino community for my film is that, a lot of times you're not going to be represented, and it's especially rare to be represented by yourself. And I think to tell really important stories and to acknowledge issues within your community, you need to acknowledge it from the inside. And it's something that's really, really important to talk about in your family and in your community. And I wanted to make sure that I could open that conversation for other families, whether they're Latino or not, to open that community discussion.
When I set off my film, I wanted to focus on a tradition passed down from China, and it's still present here. I wanted to focus on that this tradition is alive, and that other traditions from other countries still are still alive.
So divorce is pretty common. We either have or family have gone through it or know another family that has. And so I really wanted to create a film to show like the feelings about it, and like it's not very common in Asian American culture, or if it is, it's not talked about. So that's what mine was about, and I thought it was really important because I grew up and I didn't see that in the media.
One of the things we did talk about a little bit in Real Voices was tell the story that no one else can. And so for me, I know some of my peers talked about it, but like, especially in the political climate, I'm black, and I have a lot to say about being black, but I think there's already a lot being said about being black, and the thing is that for me, I do have food allergies, which aren't talked about and do have a lot of misconceptions, and there are also a lot of challenges that I face and I don't see addressed, and so I wanted to bring light onto something rather than bring light to, although still an important issue, bring light to something that doesn't have the light currently on it.
Great. So thank you everybody for being brave and putting so much heart and so much like blood, sweat, and tears into your film. So yeah, let's open it up to the audience, and we have a question right here. For Here to Go, where's the location of your restaurant?
Okay, so the address is 2939 Altaview Drive, and it's actually located in Spring Valley in the Paradise Hills area. And yeah, we opened there about 6 years ago. Our anniversary was back 2 months ago, and yeah.
So it's for Greater Than Homeless, and he's asking how many locations did you visit for the production of your film?
I actually didn't visit that many. There's homeless everywhere, and so I actually visited like Poway area and also Mira Mesa area.
For all the foods that I can't eat, what is your inspiration for your film?
So I have food allergies, which is my main inspiration. I also have another disease called eosinophilic esophagitis. So it's actually more of a pronounced version. So I feel a lot of the effects of food allergies. And just looking around and in my school and in my community, I didn't really feel that anybody knew about it, and I kind of felt alone. And I know that there are people out there like me, but yet it's not talked about, and you don't know anything. So I did want to again like shine light on that. So that was
Got another question. So the question is, how would you define the American dream? She said that she'd mentioned she sees as a common theme in everyone's film.
So coming from obviously a non-traditional family, perfection is not like in my dictionary. So I think being conventional and being happy with what you have, and doing what makes you happy, I guess, and pursuing what you want, and yeah, being able to create something that you're proud of, that I know my mom is proud of.
So my definition of the American dream is living out the best you can with the most fulfilling things that you can do, like have like a fulfilling career, a loving family, well, money, but money isn't as important as the other two.
I guess I would define the American dream as being something that focuses primarily on change, because I think that you should be able to fall from the American dream. You should be able to rise up to it. And there should be ways to change issues, because there's always going to be issues. There should be a way to be able to grow from them and to be able to resolve issues in every community and all that kind of, like, how do you word it? You have to be able to change your own and your community status in your community and your nation. And that's how I define the American dream.
My idea of the American dream would be making the most out of every opportunity that we have. Because I know my parents growing up in India, they didn't have like anything, like nothing like Real Voices. I mean, this program really is something else. And like to be able to have such, like to have so much support just to make a film, which is like, I'm sure all of our dreams here, is something that's extraordinary. So just like the American dream would be going out for what you want and making the most of every opportunity that comes across you.
I'll go first. Okay. Like everyone said, like what we've all said so far, I think one of the most important things about following like the American dream is following your passion. And like basically when you follow your passion, you kind of just follow whatever you want to do in life, and you follow your heart at the same time, because it doesn't matter if like there's a lot of like setbacks. As long as you keep progressing, you keep going, you do what you want, and yeah, and at the same time you do it, and not hopefully, but like your family and your friends will support you along the way, because that is the American dream in my opinion.
I believe the American dream is also following your passion, but I think it's something we think of when immigrants first came here a long, long time ago, and they're trying to reach success. But I feel like in contemporary society and nowadays, it's changed, as in it's still the same concept and idea, but those limits that prevent us from getting there are different. And so like in my film, what is not being said, what isn't being heard is what limits people from reaching success. And compared to a long time ago, whether it be external problems, I feel like now it's a lot more internal and what is within the family and local communities.
I think the American dream all revolves around like happiness, and you, of course, like following your passions on all that, and also like knowing what you want to do in life, and like taking initiative to do that. I think a lot of people are scared to do certain things, like following your heart and stuff like that. So doing that, and also like pursuing like your social responsibility in the world.
I think the American dream is, again, like my film, following your heart, and just having the ability to do what you think is best for yourself, despite what others may be telling you.
I think the American dream, like Ryan said, is finding your passion, because that's pretty hard to do nowadays. I mean, there's a lot of people who go into undeclared majors. I have a lot of friends who have trouble finding what they want to do. And once you find that passion, for future generations to follow, we're always learning from history, and I think it's just creating a new foundation for others to succeed in.
Great, thank you. Do we have another question out there? There's a bright light, so I can't. There you go. Yeah, go ahead. So, how do you feel like you could help transform the future generation of filmmakers or aspiring filmmakers?
I think it's through telling our stories and motivating others, because I feel like a lot of people doubt themselves too often and feel like they don't have a voice. But I think like all of us were able to use our cameras as our voice and share our stories, and to make them feel as if they're welcomed as well.
So I actually did graduate, so I'm like a freshman in college. So like looking back, something I would say to students is don't wait till the last minute to like actually tell your story and like speak your dream or whatever. So I think it's really just go out there, find your story, and share it with the world.
I think it's good to like know what, like understand like what you want to do, and like pursue that. It takes a lot to do certain things that you want to do, and just take the initiative to do it.
I feel like for the future filmmakers and all those after us, the biggest way to lead is through influence. And what we do now, this is only the starting point of what is yet to come. And I feel like with us going farther will inspire them.
I just graduated too, so college is cool. But one thing I'd like to say is to be the role model, in like, just in life, you know, like in your in your whatever you do in life, like you just gotta like do your best at it, and then like hopefully come out to like events, and then just kind of like share your own work. And I think if you share it to like people at festivals or like at just like anything, like people who see your work will kind of like find you know, like that sense of inspiration within your work, and you can just kind of like keep sharing, and then it'll drive others. And yeah.
I think that we could inspire the next generation of filmmakers just by doing what we did now, like putting out films that are really specific to us and about stories that are never told. I didn't know, like, especially at this film festival, we all watched Minding the Gap, which was a really unique documentary about an Asian skater and his friends, and like growing up, and like themes of racism and like domestic abuse and all of that. Just stories that are so specific to you, but stories that need to be told. I think by like us showing off our documentaries that are all like so unique and so like individual, we can show next generations or upcoming generations of filmmakers that they can do the exact same thing and like contribute to media and representation as a whole.
I think the way that we as filmmakers can really open up, you know, other opportunities for the next generation of filmmakers is to be brave, because it's never going to be easy. I think everyone here can kind of agree it wasn't easy to spend your entire summer doing something that you were afraid was going to be horrible and then have to display it in front of everyone. So it's one of those things where you have to be brave. You have to be willing to tell stories that are scary and stories that aren't, you know, already told 1,000 times. And I think that that's really important, to maybe do some of the dirty work before, so someone else can have that same opportunity and maybe go a little bit more in depth and maybe talk about something kind of similar or something different, but we need to set an example of bravery and be willing to do that.
Well, I think for me is be the best you can be now and stay true to yourself, because someone out there will always relate to a story no matter what, whether it be here in the United States or anywhere else in the world.
So I graduated high school too, and I'm studying in university, and I think something that we as filmmakers can do for a future generation is to keep being inspired and to keep making films, and so you can see growth and development. On our phones all the time, we're scrolling through like Instagram and social media, and it's so quick to like let something that we see like scroll on by. But I think acting on that and being inspired and continually doing or sharing what makes it, or sharing our inspirations and our passions can really shine through in our work, and that is what propels other future generations to be like, I want to do that, I want to share my story. And that's how I came to Real Voices. I saw someone share their film, and I fell in love, and that's why I'm here.
It was already said, but I really think it comes down to mentorship. Real Voices has a really strong, really great mentorship program, and dealing with impact and dealing with affecting others. I think one of the best ways to do that is through yourself. So, however, in film, doing something like what Trish did, being experimental, trying new things, being brave, going out and paving a new path, and doing that in hopes that you can be a role model to the next generation. I think that's the best way. Mentorship does not have to be direct; it can be indirect, and it can.
Okay, so we have a question about how do your parents feel about your dream about becoming a filmmaker, if you're planning on pursuing it professionally or not?
I know that it is not a typical career, and I know it's not the most common career. The film industry is hard, and discussions about that have also affected me, but I feel like the passion and the dedication and the drive to do so is really what is important. So I think all these people here, we all have that drive, and I think at the end of the day, that's what really matters.
For me, it was I'm studying like veterinary medicine, and so when I was like pursuing a film internship, my parents didn't really take it seriously. They're like, "Oh, it's cool. She's doing something over the summer. She's just not sitting on a couch." Until like I wasn't really like, I had like a storyboard and everything and like the process, but then I was like my first rough cut soon. They're like, "What? This is real. This is happening." And I think them being here, they're seeing like how film has like changed us, and it's really cool. I love it.
For me, I never thought I'd actually be in this program. I was thinking on spending some time, like, relaxing over the summer, but but for the parents' question, I think they're going to be happy from what I do as long as I stick with it and and try not to lose that passion going forward.
So right now I'm actually applying to film school, which is also a nightmare, in case anyone else here is also applying to film school. But as far as like my parents go, they're really, really supportive, and I know it's because they love me and they like believe in me, but it's also honestly like thanks to this program too, because this legitimizes our art and this legitimizes our activism as a career. It doesn't have to be something that like you just watch your kids like wasting their time on watching YouTube. It's like it can mean something and it can be powerful and it can be something that your parents are really proud of.
My parents support me 100%, and going off of what Vivi said, like this program really like did legitimize like our dream, and they were supportive of my dream like no matter what. But I think just like this screening and just like all of the work that I put into it just really showed to them, hopefully, that that I could really go somewhere with this field.
It's my turn again. I think I can agree with everyone everyone has said so far. But with my family, we have gone through a lot, and I'd like to say that with my mom and my siblings and I, what really powers our family is like love and pursuing happiness. And I think that what I'm doing is pursuing something that I really love, and I think what she loves that I'm pursuing she loves the fact that I'm pursuing something that I love. She loves me, so I guess that matters. And yeah.
For me personally, I drove down to Temecula 3 times a week for this program. Yeah, so I feel like me showing them that dedication, I know that they support me in whatever I do, and I'm thankful for that.
All my parents want is for me to be happy, and they know how passionate and dedicated I am to this, and so they fully support me 100%.
So I've always like been in love with like filmmaking and acting, and my parents do support it. It was a little bit harder to convince my mom, but like, she still supports it, and it's nice knowing that they're all here right now actually, and they're supporting my film.
I've always been watching films since I was little. Like, that's my family tradition. It's just like sitting down watching films with my family, and I think they kind of knew from a young age that that was something I'd want to pursue. So they're very supportive, and I think it's because of the rough childhoods they had growing up in Central Valley that they understand that I'm really passionate about this, and they won't follow my passion.
So we have to wrap up our Q&A session, but if you have questions, save them because we will be upstairs at the reception and you could ask the students then.
So for now, thank you again to the class of Real Voices 2018 for their outstanding films and hard work.
Thank you for coming.